Hello everyone, I'm Zoe and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a negative one, so I would like to start with a disclaimer. I in no way am trying to say anything bad about the author or trying to offend anybody who liked this book. I'm just here to share my unfiltered thoughts on this book and essentially why I chose to DNF the book. DNF means did not finish, and that is pretty self explanatory. The book that we're talking about is Her Last Wish by Ajay Pandey. It was given to me by a friend, so I really wanted to like this book, but I did not. This book has 1200 reviews on Amazon and somewhere around that on Goodreads as well. And this book has like 4.5 out of 5 on Amazon and 4.18 on Goodreads, which is so mind boggling because I read those reviews and I was just like, I don't agree at all. So here I am to share why I don't. Obviously, I can't talk about the plot or character development because obviously I read 30 pages. The protagonist of this book is Vijay, who is 30-year-old male who works as an assistant professor in some college, and his family has such high expectations from him, even though he's a loser, as he says so himself all through this book, all through whatever I've read. He happens to find a girl who accepts his hand in marriage. It's an arranged marriage. So I was just editing and I realized that this angel right over here accidentally deleted some of the recordings. So I have to do this thing. So I'm just going to tell you a bit more about the book. After marrying Asta, Vijay is finally a bit happy in his life. But that happiness doesn't last long because it turns out that Asta is HIV positive. Everything comes crashing down, things get sad and stuff. And for once in his life, he is trying to be a winner and not a loser, only for Asta. So I don't know, maybe he does something for her. And it was mentioned in the back description that his father does something as well for Asta to like kind of redeem himself. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. And first of all, why is this time period mentioned here so separately and boldly when there is there is no time period mentioned later on this book anywhere? This thing could have been conveyed so easily. This was really unnecessary. The first thing that I noticed was some sentences going from past to present. Such a big turn off. And I understand why he wrote the way he wrote, because the narrator is directly speaking to the reader and he is talking about his past, but sometimes he is referring to some things in the present. Let me just tell you. I wasn't surprised because I know she can even climb up the Qutub Minar. He's talking about the past, he was not surprised. And then he goes like, because I know he's talking about the present when he is talking to the reader. If you're using past tense, you're supposed to stick to the past tense. And this was done everywhere. I'll read some other examples. She was elated because I am not very verbal with my feelings otherwise. I am just an ad hoc faculty. What was the editor doing? I don't understand. And there was just so much of telling than showing. That's just not good. So on page 4, he gets a call from somebody to let him know that his wife was HIV positive. He says, I went numb and lost my voice. Soon I realized that this was happening for real. The word HIV heavily echoed in my head. Mr. Vijay, are you there? She prodded as I was lost in my agony and hadn't spoken a single word. He said I went numb and lost my voice. He need not have mentioned as I was lost in my agony and hadn't spoken a single word. It's obvious. He kind of went in a flashback kind of thing where he is still looking for a girl to marry. Then there was this scene where after visiting a girl for for talking about marriage and stuff. This family gets a call from the girl's family, and the girl's mother tells Vijay's mother that they are rejecting this, and his mother gets angry because of a small reason. And after getting angry, she shouts at the girl's mother. And then the writer goes on describing the actions of the girl who is on the other side of the phone. How can you know what she is doing? Hearing my mother's words, Sonali couldn't hold back any longer. How do you know that she couldn't hold on any longer? Hi, Auntie. She took the phone from her mother and rattled away. How do you know that she took the phone from her mother and her mother did not give her the phone? And how do you know that she rattled away and not just stayed there to talk to her? And then he goes on giving a whole paragraph of what Sonali, the other girl who rejected him, said to his mother on the phone. How come Vijay sitting beside her can listen to every single word that she said? And then there were so many scenes where it was unclear of what the writer was trying to say. I would read something and I would be like, huh? And then I would read further and then I would be like, oh, and then I would go back again and read the whole thing again because I couldn't understand it before. And then I'd be like, oh, that is what is going on. In this other scene, Vijay and his family go to see another girl. They go there and sit down and listen. My mother immediately sprang into action by flaunting the most famous hero of Bollywood. What? The next paragraph is the dialogue of his mother, where she is talking about his son in a way that a mother would. By flaunting the most famous hero of Bollywood, he is referring to himself. She was talking about him, not the most famous hero of Bollywood. I legit thought that she went off talking about Bollywood and movies and stuff. And then Vijay and this other girl, they go to eat ice cream while their parents are still together at the girl's home. And he accidentally asks her if she has a boyfriend. I mean, I know I'm an Indian, I know my society, India is kind of controversial. But right after he says that, his inner monologue is, I blurted out something I could never even imagine in my dreams. That is so over exaggerated. There are just a lot of fillers. Right after him asking if she has a boyfriend, she says, so you want a virgin? She instantly concluded. I was aghast with the frankness with which she said this. It could have been easily cut down and reframed as, I was aghast with her frankness. And then after the ice cream date kind of thing, his mother asks him, how is Asta? My mother commenced her interrogation as soon as we started for home. Her question amused me, but being a shy person, it was easy for me to hide my blush. You went to see a girl. Of course, she would ask you if you liked her or not. Why would this amuse you? Also, the vocabulary used in this book is poor, which inevitably leads to a lot of repetition of words. He's used behaved so many times it was just annoying. Hear this out. In a Brahmin household where no one had ever tasted meat, a person who eats non-vegetarian food and drinks alcohol is termed as a sinner. How could Asta behave in this fashion? I questioned myself about my actions while all this was happening right under my nose, and as usual, I remained silent. That was so bad. One more thing that I didn't like apart from writing is the main character. He is drowning in self pity. All through the book, he is like, I am such a big loser. His wife is HIV positive, and he is out here asking God why he is always the target. I mean, come on. Your wife is going to die out there, and you are here spitting yourself. We have a full 2 pages all about AIDS and HIV. Like, he is searching all these things up, and here are the questions and the answers all about HIV and AIDS. I'm not here for this. This is just unnecessary info dump, which is bad. So his wife sometimes talks about herself as a third person, and in this particular scene, she called him up and it is not mentioned who called. And then later on, we realize that it is his wife who called. And for all this part, I'm just like, wait, who is he talking to? Because she is referring to herself as somebody else. So that was kind of confusing. And this paragraph that I don't like at all. Hear it out. An omelette. You made an omelette for me. Am I dreaming? She took a bite. You never liked this. You hated the smell. I am so surprised. How come a true vegetarian is doing this? Your mother will get a heart attack if she comes to know. She always asked she always asked questions and answered them herself. Actually, she was slightly talkative, but I didn't want to say that. Also, there are so many punctuation errors. After saying, you made an omelette for me, personally, I feel like that should have a question mark and not a full stop. Am I dreaming? And after he closes this dialogue, he writes an action. And when you write an action, the initial of the sentence is supposed to begin with a capital letter, but he is using a lowercase letter all through the book. And this sentence, actually, she was slightly talkative, but I don't like to say that. Oh, come on. That is not a bad thing. Being talkative is not a bad thing, and I'm pretty sure that she knows that too. In some places, it felt like this book was trying a bit too hard, that it couldn't achieve that, really. I mean, no shade, but hear this out. Her slurping tongue, chewing sound, and delighted eyes were saying more than her words. What is her slurping tongue saying? He's used the sentence, I passed a smile. That is just not it. There is a sentence where he says, our nostrils were so close that we could easily inhale each other's breath. Cringy, so cringy. I can tell so many more things that disappointed me, but I won't go into detail. I don't want to make this video too long or too offensive. So yeah, that was this book. I think I've covered everything up that I wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching. Do let me know down below in the comments if you read this book and if you agree or disagree on any point, and if you want to read this book. I mean, my talk on this book made it sound really bad, which I think it is. I mean, I only spoke the truth. But I know that there are many people who have really low expectation from novels, especially those who don't have English as their first language. Now, native English speakers won't like this book at all. I will make sure to leave a Goodreads and Amazon link to this book down below. So if you just want to check that out or what other people are saying about this book. So yeah, that concludes this video. Thank you for sticking around and watching me rant. And I will see you in my next video. Bye. Also, one thing that really ticked me off about this book was how it was trying to say that introverts are just straight up boring. Like, I don't agree with that at all.